Hello, hello. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna see if this works. Sometimes stuff like this works, sometimes it doesn't, and this is my life whenever I try to stream. Hello? Hello? Black. Hold up, hold up. Hello, 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 hello. Okay, we're gonna try again because honestly, I don't understand. Okay, great. Okay, wait. Cool. See, the thing is, these are slightly out of sync. So I don't know what I'm gonna do about that. I can't tell if it's actually delaying or not. And if that's annoying you guys. If it is, I'm so sorry. If anything is not working, I'm also so sorry. Tis is life. I can't tell if the audio is also not synced up to my video. We can wait. We can pause. I see that there is one viewer. One viewer, can you inform me if my audio and my video are synced up? Because if so, that's great. If not, don't know what's wrong with this video. I can tell, like you can see, there's like one camera that's working a lot better than the other. Don't know why, because the one that's on my face that's being delayed is definitely the better camera. So maybe there's just something in the way it's being captured. Let's see. Let me see if I... Oh, okay, this is better. Alright, bet. Let's go. Okay. Hello! Welcome, everybody, to another Wednesday cooking stream. Kind of feeling like this summer, Wednesdays is going to be my permanent day that I basically just stream. I've even set up my camera from above. If you have watched any of the other streams that I've ever done in my life, usually the camera's at weird angles. Today, I have figured out how to actually hang it in my cabinet with a bowl sitting on top, to which it gets a nice top-down view. Whoa. When it comes to cooking on the stove, which is right next to me, I'm gonna figure out if I can set it up a little bit, but for right now, I'm just gonna be chopping and you can stay with me and watch that. So today, we're gonna be making Jajangmyeon, which is a Korean black bean noodle, and I've made this before, and on stream back in, I don't know, January, February, March, and kind of messed it up. So this is a redemption for me because I have also made it even before stream, and usually it ends up pretty good. And the one time I decide that I actually want to make it for people and serve it to other people, trash. So we're gonna try it again. I was supposed to cook for others, but it looks like they won't even be here till 8:30. But considering that I'm just starting to cook now, maybe they'll be here by the time I'm done. Let me actually text them. That sounds great. Sorry, give me 1 second. Okay, but yes, we're gonna be making jajangmyeon, and I follow this person's recipe. Probably better if I just show it this way. Never mind, I'm so bad at this. Maybe this one? You can kind of see it. Never mind, doesn't matter. I follow basically Korean bop Korean bop sang, and they actually, I was about to make a bold claim in which I think they have a lot of good Korean recipes. I've only ever made their jajangmyeon recipe, so I actually have no idea if it's good or not. But their single jajangmyeon recipe, except for the one time I made it, is actually pretty solid. I've done it a few times, so I think as long as you actually follow it to a T, it's great. Also, this knife is extremely dirty. Just listen from afar. Okay, cool. What did I do with the paper towels, bro? Did I get rid of? Oh, they're over here. Okay, lit. So, I'm gonna chop up the vegetables first before I even make the sauce. Because for me to make the sauce and then do everything like back to back is actually the easiest. So, let me tell you what vegetables I have. I only have two, but since there are two, I can say vegetables. I have onion, and you're gonna need cabbage. A lot of people also throw in zucchini to this. I went to the Korean grocery market, H Mart. I couldn't find zucchini. I could find green, green squash and cucumbers, but I couldn't find zucchini, and I was like, you know, it's not worth it. I'm not gonna bother to try to figure it out. I didn't know if green squash was zucchini, so I just decided to forgo it. I don't even like zucchini that much in the first place. In my opinion, in this recipe, you can't even taste it, so it don't matter. I'm also gonna move my trash a lot closer to me. So I'm making jajangmyeon for 3 people and also for my lunch tomorrow, so it's gonna be I need to make at least 4 servings. Yeah, you can see the lovely wire that's hanging down. I just moved the cabinet because it was kind of in my way, but let me hang this wire back up, seeing if I can do it. Okay, maybe I can't. Maybe I'll just... Great. Okay, truly my camera is in such a precarious way. It's so funny every time I try to stream and I cook in the kitchen. It takes me a lot longer than if I was to just normally cook and ignore it, because I feel like I'm trying to be entertaining. At the same time, I'm also trying to make sure I make an okay meal. So doing it like this is vastly entertaining to me. Okay, so I know I said I'd be following a recipe. I really only meant that in terms of the actual black bean sauce I'm about to use and the ingredients. Quantities for the rest of it, like how many noodles I'm about to put in, and also whatever else I'm about to do, I ignore. Sorry, I can see. So yeah, we're gonna just do whatever I want. I can tell you what they say. They say to get 8 to 10 ounces of pork, ginger, mirin, whatever. And they say to get 1 extra large onion, green cabbage, zucchini, and cucumber to garnish, which is great. I honestly don't do any of this. I just realized. You know, let's try following parts of this recipe. Let me finish cutting this first, and then I'll figure it out. Basically, you want to dice your onions. I am just gonna dice it. Typically, you want to make them like bite-sized, maybe even smaller type of dice. I don't know how big that is, but you know, look at it, think it's reasonable. small enough that people can eat it and be comfortable. Typically in jajangmyeon, everything is like kind of small and in like these square shapes, like including the meat. And I actually don't enjoy that part. For me, like when I eat the meat inside jajangmyeon, because I use pork belly, and pork belly is actually the typical meat, I believe. I like being able to recognize it's a chunk of meat and to eat that chunk of meat. I don't really appreciate like just biting into something and not knowing if it's a vegetable or piece of meat. So I like to keep things a little bit on the bigger side for sure when it comes to like cooking. So I'm gonna throw, and this is how I am a little bit lazy. I'm gonna throw all my cut vegetables already into this pan. Well, only the onions, but I'm gonna throw it into this pan so I can make room on my cutting board. It's a great tip. If you ever need space, just transfer what you already have to where you need. So that's kind of a lot of onion. Truly, like, I think onion, oh, never mind, my bad. I think onions are just okay. I don't think there's a need for an excessive amount of them. So I'm just gonna do that. I'm gonna put this in a Ziploc bag so I can preserve it for later. I think onions have a very big like place in certain foods. Like, for example, if I was to eat like a gyudon or oko, no, that's not it, not okonomiyaki. Oyakodon, which is two Japanese dishes, I would much prefer to have like a lot of onion. I think those are necessary. I don't know why I grabbed this pork. I'm not using it right now. We're gonna cut some cabbage. So for cabbage, I like to have an excessive amount of cabbage because it makes me feel like I'm eating a lot of green vegetables and they wilt down hella. So might as well. Just throw in as much as you can. I did not get the cabbage I want, but that's okay because I typically use napa cabbage for everything, which I do realize is kind of a mistake, but I love napa cabbage because I can even just eat stir-fried napa cabbage and I think it's great. So it's one of the few vegetables that I know like I will eat and I can eat it multiple ways. Versus I feel like this kind cabbage I use mostly in other things or in specifically Kahlua pig cabbage, which is a Hawaiian dish that I love and it's also one of the easiest things to make. I would stream it, but it's mostly me letting it sit in like a crock pot or a pressure cooker or something. So it's not entertaining to watch and it wouldn't be very educational because it'd basically be like, yeah, 6 to 8 hours before you want to eat, throw that in a crock pot and poke a bunch of holes in it, pour liquid smoke over it, and you're Gucci. Not the best thing to stream, not the most entertaining thing, but I do love Hawaiian food. I'm also part Hawaiian, so might as well, like, I would like to find a Hawaiian recipe to make one day that I like think would also be good for stream, but I can't think of one. Maybe one day I'll make poke bowls. I think that's a lot of fun and I think that could be really entertaining. The week I decide to dish out a lot of money on ingredients will be the day I do that. Okay, so let's see. I think a person should eat at least 3 leaves of cabbage. So doing that, we need at least 12 leaves of cabbage. You gotta stay healthy, people. And while cabbage might not have that many actual nutrients, I don't need to know that. I need to just believe and listen to my heart, you know? Absolutely not, actually. That's actually not great at health advice. Whee! Okay. I've kind of destroyed this cabbage. I don't know how much more I should still do. Because I also just randomly said 12 and then I haven't been keeping track. So my bad. Anywho, how was y'all's day? To anybody, if someone is watching. My day was good. Honestly, it was kind of chill in like theory. Definitely like busy back to back, but one thing that I think is nice about being an intern, because I'm interning this summer, is they kind of don't want you to work overtime. So once you kind of hit your 8 hours of the day, they kind of just are like, okay, you can go home, unless you have something like super urgent. But typically, like for interns, they don't put things on like an extremely high priority. Like you want an extremely high priority project, which is good and bad, right? Because bad because you don't necessarily get maybe the experience you're looking for. Good because honestly, if it, you know, you need to extend a deadline, you're not going to, you know, take down the company. I'm not saying that my projects aren't necessarily important. My projects just, you know, if they're completed a little bit later, I am not going to destroy anything, which is good. But yeah, so I went home on time. There was a period of time I worked overtime every day, and then I was like, wow, this is actually great. I actually enjoy working, and I think people like ask me if I legitimately enjoy it, but I do. I think I'm the type of person that enjoys and can get extremely immersed into my work, and it's really easy for me to do, and I typically actually don't even mind doing it and having a lot of stuff to do. So this is a lot of cabbage, as you can see. I've kept this one on the side because it's kind of sad looking, kind of not great looking. I'm gonna cut this and then I'm gonna wash it. So I'm gonna cut it first and then put it in a colander because I just find that so much easier than trying to do this, like rinse it one by one. So we're just gonna cut it. And this one, even though cabbage will wilt down a little bit, you still want to make it in the small cubes, kind of the same size that you made your onions. Aim for about the same size, maybe a little bit more since it will probably wilt a little bit. Top tip, honestly, when I don't feel like turning all my cabbage, I just turn the whole cutting board. I am also realizing I am cutting these a lot larger than my onions. I'll cut them again. I'm just gonna go through all of them first and then I'll cut them again. Yeah. I don't know, I'm trying to think of if anything fun and exciting has happened in my past week. Since I've last seen you guys on Wednesday, and even last Wednesday. That was a very fun and chill, but slightly chaotic stream, I think. It was nice, because I, in a while, haven't been able to cook a lot, like, with friends, specifically, like, those friends, and I really missed it. Like, when I was an intern and I was pretty much also in the same exact location as them, after my freshman year, we would all of us would hang out a lot, and specifically me and my friend Emily, we would cook together, and I have very fond and precious memories of those days. So it was nice to be able to cook with them in a slightly larger and upgraded kitchen than we had when we tried to originally make something. And I don't even remember at this point what we were making. I just have a picture of us trying to open a can of tomatoes, and I remember that we did not have a can opener, so I just have a video of her stabbing a can of tomato sauce with a knife, like a very dull butter knife, and it sticks out to me. And occasionally on my Snapchat memories, I'll get it back as like, oh, like, remember what you were doing 4 years ago? And it just shows up, and it makes me laugh every time. So it was nice to be able to do that last Wednesday and get to see and meet all of them. It's been truly a while. But what else has happened in my life since then? Oh, I have aged up a year. So your girl is now 22. We're getting old. Yeah, 22. Nothing has really felt that different in like the past 5 days since, you know, like the time before I turned 22. I think 21 was a big one, and I think 18 was pretty big. 16 was also pretty big too, because that's when like I got my car, I was able to just start driving everywhere, so that was nice. Yeah, 22 doesn't feel different. I mean, maybe it feels a little bit weird now knowing that this is gonna be the year I graduate from my undergrad degree in college, and then I'll be kind of at least done with that chapter. And for me, I don't know, having not that safety net of knowing you're an undergrad is a little bit scary. So we'll see. Okay, cabbage has been washed, and I'm just gonna set this aside because I'm not gonna add it to the pan, because to the pan first you need to add said pork belly and stuff. So here is my pork belly. It was on sale this week, which was nice. Pork belly is actually typically pretty cheap to my knowledge, so I don't know. I got 1.71 pounds for $14-ish, so actually maybe it was on sale. That does sound like a very good deal. I like pork belly. It's cheap, it's fatty, tastes delicious. If you can't eat pork, I'm so sorry, this is not helpful information for you, but I like it. Okay, theoretically you should also cut this in cubes, but remember guys, we don't like that, so we're gonna cut it into slices like this. Doesn't have to be overly big either, because you do need to cook it, and pork belly is a little bit on the fattier side, so you need to make sure pork is also always cooked, just as an FYI. So we're gonna do that. I actually when I read the recipe, I was like, oh my gosh, you're supposed to marinate the pork belly. I might have done that the first time I ever made this recipe, but definitely not the second, when I thought it was still fine, and definitely not the third. So we're gonna do it. We don't have all of the ingredients per se to do what they did, because namely I don't have ginger. I'm also not a big ginger person, so it's okay if we don't do ginger. I'm gonna do 4 slabs of pork belly. That sounds good. But we'll do the rest of the stuff, which was some mirin, which is a like cooking wine. I think just salt, pepper was actually the rest of it. I'll probably throw in like a little bit of garlic powder or something in there, and then we'll see from there. We'll see how I feel. So pork belly is chopped in a bowl. I know part of the reason, and so part of the reason why people like to also marinate things in like mirin and stuff and add your salt and stuff early is because sometimes like pork, even fish, can have a very like pungent flavor, like not flavor, but like flavor and smell to it. So you want to make sure that you are trying to like dilute that down as much as possible. So what people do is they'll marinate it in mirin, like the rice wine, and they say it helps kind of mild out that flavor a lot. So I know people do that if you can't get the most fresh ingredients. And that is what I guess I will also be doing. Because I guess it was on sale and that's a little sketch. So, okay, let's figure out what they put in there though. So yeah, they did mirin, ginger, salt, and pepper. So we'll do that too. Where are my ingredients? Whee! Mirin, pepper. I don't know where my salt went. Salt. Yeah, I don't have ginger, so oh well. Maybe I'll look if we have powdered ginger. We have ground ginger. We'll use just a little bit of it. I'm, again, not the biggest ginger person, so it's alright. Okay, we'll put this back over here, kind of by the sink, because it's still dripping wet. They have measurements. I, again, don't believe in measurements that much. You're just gonna pour a little bit. Like, do a reasonable amount, you know what I mean? Like, coat the shit. Like, coat your pork. And then add enough. I think one important thing that people do forget, although if you're making it the thing super small, maybe you don't need to, but when you are still like adding meat, even if you're gonna add it in a sauce, unless you're stewing it for a long time, rarely have I ever experienced your meat actually take on that flavor. And so it is important to still season your meat. And I'm just gonna add a little bit of ginger. Again, not the biggest ginger person. I keep saying that, but I'm doing it because maybe it will actually make a difference and this jajangmyeon will be great. I mean, I hope it's great. I am forced to eat it for the next 2 days, so I hope it's great. But yeah, lost my train of thought. We're moving on. So I recently went and tried jajangmyeon in a restaurant for the first time ever. The reason I decided I wanted to try to make jajangmyeon one day before even ever having it in a restaurant or having someone else cook it for me, because I saw it on the internet. I saw it as someone who watches a lot of Korean media and content. Yes, kind of a Koreaboo, but like no, not necessarily like a K-pop stan. I saw on this show called Funstrant that make jajangmyeon. They have this like very famous Chinese chef apparently in Korea whose specialty is jajangmyeon, and I saw him make it several times on Funstrant, and I was like, wow, that looks good. I'm going to make that one day. And I finally buckled down. I found a recipe that seemed okay, which is the current recipe I am using, and I decided that I was gonna make it. This was gonna be my time to shine. I don't need someone else to tell me how to do it, and I was just gonna go for it, which is exactly what I did. And I thought it turned out really well. I tasted it for the first time, and I was like, wow, this is actually really good. I understand the hype. But when I tried it in the restaurant, the reason I'm bringing this up is I didn't realize how sweet it was actually supposed to be. And I concluded that I didn't like it. I didn't enjoy it when it was sweet. And so I was like, you know what? My jajangmyeon, the recipe I follow of this lady, is superior. It's just better. And I never thought I would say that, but you know what? It did a good job. We were right there on the money, bro. So we're gonna actually now make the sauce, and I'm gonna start also boiling water. Okay. Oh, So yeah, I think this jajangmyeon recipe is good, and if you've never tried jajangmyeon before, I actually don't know if this is a great representation of what it's actually supposed to taste like, but in my humble opinion, I think it tastes great, and it might even be better than that one restaurant I went to. But it was still good at the restaurant. I don't know, maybe it is supposed to be sweet, or maybe it's not supposed to be. I talked with a lot of people who I know, who have tried that exact same restaurant as well, and a lot of them say it's sweet too, so I don't think I'm very alone in that opinion. Okay, we're about to try something. I'm about to take you on an adventure, and we're gonna try to move the camera over here. So ignore the technical difficulties for like a hot sec. And I'm just gonna keep the camera on. I'm not gonna turn on the start streaming soon screen because I kinda need to see if it's going okay. So we're gonna move you this way. What? Let's see. Yes, you did hear the microwave opening. Yes, this is me how I'm gonna cook. Wow, kind of. I wish I could like make it higher. There's a lot of things that are slightly sketch about this. One, a wire. Two, I guess generally what I'm doing. How about that? Does that look weird? What if I close the microwave? How's that? Oh, that's kind of good. Wait. I think kind of, right? Like if I was to do like that. I'm trying to see. I can't really tell. I mean, I guess you kind of would want... I don't know, the microwave's kind of in the way, so... I think that's honestly a pretty good angle, pretty good shot, not gonna lie to you. Alright, we'll do it. Let me see if I can find something that's slightly heavy to stand on this, but won't fall and destroy me. Actually, hold up. We're gonna try a few things before I decide to do anything drastic. I need it to stay like this, right? Like this. But this is like us praying that it won't fall. It's staying, and it looks fine. I guess we're just not gonna pray. And I'm also going to expand this. That webcam that it's currently on does not have a zoom function. So this is zoom. This is our manual zoom. And get like a nice little reflective shot of it. Woo! You're not gonna watch the noodles boil. I don't think you want to watch the noodles boil. No! No! Alright, give me one sec. We have to go back. Okay, hello, we are back. Hello, hello, okay. Okay, let me also fix this camera then. Boop, 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 boop. You're gonna about to watch it. Great. Coolio, okay. Cool, perfect. Great. I'm going to see if I can nope. Mistakes? Like I said, you're gonna have to ignore technical difficulties for now until I figure out how I want to redo this configuration. Yeah, I will say one day I'm gonna get a new laptop. One day. Where things aren't so fragile. Did I even plug in? There we go. Okay, let's see if it's gonna come back up. Nice. I must stop messing with it then. I say and I immediately mess with it. I will be standing over here and cooking. That's not a great angle. Yes, I can move you to this way. Kind of, sort of. It's gonna be a different angle. It's gonna be a different life. Whatever. I don't really have that much time to care. Okay, and we gotta redo this one again. Whee! Also, if this was actually crooked by a little bit, no, it's not. You're tripping. You have no idea what you're talking about. Okay, no, actually, this is gonna bother me. Let me rotate this shit. Again, we're on a budget here. So, let's see. Is there a generally rotate button? Nope. Well. Okay, we'll try. I don't know if that made that any better, actually. No, actually, that's straight. Alright, looks good. Bet. Let me see if I can zoom in at all. I actually don't know if I can on this. I don't know how to work anything that I own. I'm so sorry. Okay, but... Ooh, is that flickering now? Rip. Don't matter. Don't matter, don't matter, don't matter. feel like I kind of look like an old lady. It looks better without the backlight correction. Okay. Just ignore the microwave corner, and we'll just start cooking. Let me get up the recipe. Okay. I feel like I stall so much, and I don't actually do what I'm supposed to. So, into the pot, we're gonna make the sauce. This is what this is. So, into the pot, you're gonna add oil, sugar, oyster sauce, and the black bean paste. Basically everything for your sauce you need. And you're gonna need, I'm gonna make double of the sauce because for me, I've always found it's better to be safe than sorry and just make as much as possible. So I'm going to double it. So that is 2 tablespoons of sugar. Whee! Here. 2 tablespoons of sugar. And then it's a whopping 10 tablespoons of this Korean black bean paste. And so the number one thing that I think will be hard to find, and the number one thing that deterred me from trying to make jajangmyeon for so long, is because you need this black bean paste. And I just had no idea where to get it. I am Japanese and Hawaiian. I never knew of this thing. So for me, I was lost. But now I am found. I don't even know what that's a reference to, but that's a reference. I had a point. Okay. Not the point. But yeah, it looks like this. Wah, da 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 da. And you need 10 tablespoons of that. I'm doing this in this order for, it's not the order that's listed out, but the reason I'm doing it in this order is because I have less spoons I'll need to eventually clean, and that isn't at the whole goal. So count with me, I guess. 1, 2, 3. Oh, this one is thick. Okay, whoops. 4, 5. Okay, guys, we're halfway there. 6, 7, 8, 9, and just scoop both of those out, and 10. Okay, beautiful. This one is thick. Honestly, the reason why I do it in this order is because usually the paste will stick to the spoon, but this one kind of just rolled off. So I don't know if that's a good or bad thing, but hey, it worked. Then you want 4 tablespoons of a cooking oil. I'm just gonna use olive oil. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then oyster sauce if you have it. I like oyster sauce. I also don't even remember if I used oyster sauce the last time in this, but I'm going to use it in here. So that's 1. And come on, 2. I actually don't even know if I've ever used oyster sauce. This is not going to taste like how I remember it. Oh well. 'Tis his life. Never mind. You guys will have no idea what just happened. And that's for the better. Now turn on your heat. And you're basically going to fry this. So you kind of want to just start having that black bean paste be like... You'll hear it cooking. You'll start to hear it pop, actually. So yeah, I'm just going to like lightly try to mush that down. I'm using chopsticks like I do all the time to just make this. You kind of just want to fry it for a few minutes. You want to make sure you are stirring constantly. And then as soon as that's done, we'll start cooking out everything else. So I'm going to turn on the back burner, which you guys currently can't see. So I'm gonna start making the noodles as soon as that water boils. I like to do it this time because I also don't like draining things because again, draining requires another colander. To be fair, I did use the colander for the cabbage, so I shouldn't be complaining because I'm gonna have to wash it anyways. But I also just don't like handling a large pot and boiling it because the amount of times I have burned myself while trying to strain has been numerous. Okay. Honestly, we're making better time than I thought we would. I'm so slow when it comes to cooking on stream. So we're doing right. We're doing okay. Yeah. I don't know if you can see it. Oh, a little bit. Yeah, you can see it. It's literally bubbling. So you're literally just gonna fry it. And let's see. Try not to splash it. I also am wearing a white shirt today. I kind of don't want it to splash on me. I don't want to have to figure out an emergency, go clean up my white shirt. So I'm trying to do this as nicely as possible, which is turning out to be a little bit less nice than possible. So, oops. I turn this down a little. Turn up this back one a lot. Trying to pass time. Anyways, so the newest season of The Bachelorette just started airing last week. And I am a sucker for the trashy reality TV. And The Bachelorette is truly going to be that this season. You can tell. This is the first time that they've had two bachelorettes on the same season. And so it kind of seems like right now, the guys almost have the power that they get to choose which bachelorette they want to go after. And it's kind of looking like the season is painting it to where one of the bachelorettes, her name is Rachel, is actually going to be the one who guys don't choose, which is so interesting because to me, I think Rachel very much gives off like classic beauty standard. She's very girl next door feeling. She's blonde, she's a pilot, you know, like it's like, oh, ow, shoots. Ow. But, very much what I would think, like, is a lot of guys' ideals. So, like, to me, it was really surprising to see them go after the other bachelorette, Gabby, who is also, like, very, like, you know, very, like, attractive as a person. But I think the reason why is because she's definitely just, you know, like, more of the outgoing type for sure, you can tell. That's how she's kind of painted, and I think that's, like, truly her personality. So she's just a little bit more outgoing that way, and it's just interesting to see. But I definitely would recommend it. It's on Hulu. It comes out on Hulu every Tuesday, but actually airs every Monday night, so if you want to watch it in real time, it's on Mondays. I know that there are like certain bars apparently that will even show The Bachelorette, so I think that could be fun to one day try to do that, is go to a bar and watch it with a crowd. But it's literally a Monday. And I say that like it's a lot of effort because I know I'm also watching it on Tuesday, which is also work day. But a Monday just feels different. Okay, so now I'm going to stir up these vegetables. So I'm just gonna do the pork and the onions at the same time. It says not to. I'm not listening to that, obviously. We're gonna leave this. We're gonna leave that there. I'm gonna add a little bit of oil to this. Whee! And then I'm also just gonna straight up dump in all of our pork now. And we're going to reuse these chopsticks because again, dishes, you don't want to do them. And also they're gonna all end up in the same place anyways. So I'm not gonna put these chopsticks back in here though, because I will say one thing that is true is cross-contamination, not cute, not pretty. So here you go, we're gonna have that. I'm realizing I am going to probably strain these noodles as I'm going to be making this for someone else. And what typically you do is you just ladle the sauce on top of like a bowl of noodles that's already made. So we shall be doing that today. And I'm gonna check if my friend is actually coming. Looking perfect. Lol. I hate the fact that I say lol out loud. I used to say LMAO out loud so much that people started like making it as a meme. So basically, I am in a sorority, in an Asian interest sorority, which also seems shocking because apparently across the country, Asian interest sororities are notorious for hazing. I am the president of my current sorority. We do not haze. We like barely do anything. So like when I mean barely do anything, not in terms of hazing, like we like are very low key just in general as people. So when I heard that, I was very shocked. But that's not the point of this story. Basically, in our sorority, sometimes we'll do impressions of each other, like big little impressions. It's just like, you know, like something for fun and something that's just cute, you know? And so my little did, I have two littles, but one of my littles did an impression of me, and she literally would just say LMAO at the end of sentences, and I was just like, I do that? No, I don't. And then I realized everybody knew that I did that. That's so mind-blowing. I don't know how I feel about that one. I don't know if I like that to be one of my hallmark traits, you know? Yeah. Okay, yeah. This is looking good. You basically just kind of want the pork to get brown on each side, and then afterwards we're gonna add the cabbage still, so it's still gonna cook, but you just need to make sure your pork is cooked, because pork is one of those things that you should not be eating unless it's cooked all the way through. No! So yeah, you gotta make sure that you're actually cooking it. And especially if you have, like how I like it to have slightly like larger chunks, like you should just be careful and just thoroughly cook it and be slightly more patient. Yeah. So as I just let this sit and I'm waiting for the water to boil as well. Yeah, let's talk. I don't know about what else. In the latest episode of The Bachelorette, Rachel though, kicked off the guy who I thought was the hottest. So that was an L. And one of the reasons she gave was he was too perfect. And I'm like, bro, what? I couldn't imagine. Well, actually, it's, okay, I could. But it's just so hard, like, in my opinion, to keep people who, like, this is wrong. Okay, wait, let me back up. Let me try again. I think that was wrong because on the dating show of The Bachelorette, you're only there for a few weeks, right? And she might find love again, but to kick someone off because it's too perfect is hard, because I think part of where that stems from is you becoming worried that A, you might not deserve it, and B, that things are too good to be true. And of course on a show like The Bachelor, things are gonna seem too good to be true. You're going on cruises, you're flying to foreign countries, like you're going on these extravagant dates that would otherwise cost you thousands and thousands of dollars. Like, it's not gonna be like real life. It's definitely going to be like too good to be true, and a lot of things will feel too perfect. And when you know you're on a time crunch of just a few weeks, like the amount of vulnerability you kind of have to show at the beginning makes it kind of feel like, wow, this person really does care about me. They're opening up and it's so soon, yada, 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 because you're basing it off of the timeline of a relationship in the outside world of that reality TV show, right? And I don't think that's necessarily something you should do. I, in a way, had this experience like where I oftentimes like to choose things that I know wouldn't be the most comfortable option for me, right? I think challenging yourself and pushing yourself is good. But I think if it comes to a relationship, you should go with what you know is great for you and will work for you. I don't think like things are gonna miraculously be the way you want them to be, and I also don't believe, like I truly don't believe that out of the blue your preferences are like gonna change that much. So if it comes to like terms of like a relationship or dating, or like when you know you have to deal with other people, you should go with what you know and what you're comfortable with, like what you think is perfect at that time, because if you're already going to start with your expectations low, you're going to be annoyed even if you start in like knowing it's not going to be what you want. When you go in kind of hopeful like that and you do end up getting disappointed, you only really have your like self to blame, you know? Okay, I'm going to add in my noodles real quick. I'm just going to let this awkwardly sit like a giant pile. And yeah, but basically that, you know, people might have a different take than I do on that, but that is just my current opinion. So yeah. So these are the noodles I use. They come in this package. I always get this exact package. Whoa. And they kind of look like this. I like them because they kind of are like the freshest noodles I will probably get unless I want to actually make noodles, which I do not. And the number one thing about these is they have a lot of cornstarch on them to prevent them from sticking together. The one thing you have to remember is before you add them in the pot, unwrap them a little bit and throw them in like that. Because otherwise they stick together in like large clumps and they kind of just become like a sticky, gooey, unpleasant eating experience. So don't do that. I many times forget that about these noodles and I make that mistake and then I try to go fish them out of the pot and it's not going great and it's so bad, but it's okay, you know, you'll get there. So I have added these to my pot. It's just gonna sit in the back. They are like fresh air noodles, so it shouldn't take that long. You're hearing sizzling because I am dropping water off the side of that pan. And now, to the best of my ability, I'm going to try to stir this in without losing too much cabbage. I'm going to inevitably lose some cabbage to the side of this pan. But not too much cabbage is the goal, you know? And it'll wilt down eventually, but just to get it to that initial stage, you gotta kind of fight with it, you know? This is to make up for the lack of zucchini. It's kind of looking like a vegetable stir fry at this point, but I promise it's gonna look better at a point. It'll get there. Maybe I should have added more onion. I am now realizing. Or even more pork belly. We'll see. We'll get there. Gonna turn that heat back on just a little bit higher. And I'm gonna wash my hands. Wow, it's starting to smell good though, and now I'm hungry. Okay. Perfect. Okay, I'm also grabbing a cup because I'm gonna need some of that pasta water. But I will also be draining it. So before you're draining it, when your noodles are done, just grab a cup and just like scoop it in and reserve some pasta water. You might not need all of it, but it's always just good to do. Okay, there we go. You can slowly see, maybe not, that the cabbage is starting to wilt. It's starting to get there, so that's good. Good news for us. And then with these noodles, yeah, occasionally you want to make sure you're always stirring them as well. They really are not going to take a long time, these fresh noodles. So just like, keep your eye on them. They literally take, according to this package. Actually, I have no idea. No idea. I honestly might take this out soon. We'll try a noodle. We'll try a noodle now. Hot. Actually, no. I can see that some of them are still starchy. We'll let it go for a little bit longer. And then we'll flip these. Truly, cooking is a multi-step process. If you're not willing to, at least for a little bit, scramble around, cooking's gonna be hard. Okay, we're gonna turn this heat up a little bit higher because these noodles are gonna be done truly any second. And I'm gonna want this sauce to be done a little bit sooner, so we're gonna be waiting. Okay. And then stir this around again. Yeah, no, these noodles are looking done. Okay, I'm gonna turn this off. I'm gonna try one. And then we're gonna see. Before I even dump them out. Those are good. What's up, Jay? Cooking's going well. Bro, I'm making Jajangmyeon, which is a Korean dish. Although, I am very much not aware of everything that's going on. Truly struggling just a little bit. I was also gonna make a vegetable, and then in the middle, I decided not to do it. It does look like Kahlua pig and cabbage. That's literally what I talked about earlier, is I should honestly make Kahlua pig and cabbage, but it wouldn't be a good streaming food because it would just sit in a crock pot for days and do nothing. Whee! Oh shit, almost dropped the pot. No, it's about to look a lot less colorful and good actually in like 5 seconds because I'm about to add in some black bean paste. And then it's gonna just kind of look, honestly, kind of dark. To some people, it'll probably look unappetizing, but it's really good. It tastes great, promise. It's like a nice mix of sweet and savory. I'm gonna add this. Oh my god, what a wimp. The fact that you just said, ew, beans. Beans are great. Beans are good for you. And this doesn't even taste like regular beans. It's not like you're eating straight up beans. Oh, I might even need to make more sauce than this. You'll see, it'll slowly get, it's black bean noodles. Black bean is bean still, bro. It'll get there, it'll get there. You'll see, yeah, you can see it's slowly making a sauce too. I'll do a comparison to a picture so you can even see what it's supposed to look like. Let me tell you, it'll be good, promise. Do-do-do. Anyways, what was I even talking about before this? Before I saw that. I think I was talking about The Bachelorette, so. But yeah, The Bachelorette, I think it'll be a great and fun, messy season though. I hope both of them actually do end up finding love. What the fuck is he saying? Did you know if you imagine licking something, your brain naturally knows what it feels like to lick it? No? What? What are you talking about, bro? But you know, sometimes, I don't know if you've ever thought about licking batteries, or if you've ever licked batteries in your life or like had that kind of like electric shock at the end. But I have. And honestly, sometimes if I think about like what it was like when I licked it, it'll be in my head and I will kind of get that same feeling and tingling sensation when I like lick stuff. I'm wondering if I should just dump the rest of the sauce in here. Might as well. Better to be stronger than weak. See, I don't know if I believe a cup though, because a cup doesn't really have much of a sensation on your tongue, right? Like, so what are you trying to like think about? Like, I feel like even in, like, me, like, imagining, like, licking ice cream, right? Something I've definitely done many and many a times. I can't see it. Maybe my imagination isn't good enough, you know? Maybe this is what my life is telling me is I've hit a low point and my imagination is bad. See, but when I imagine licking this pan, all I imagine is it just being hot and my tongue getting burnt. I don't know if I feel the pan, you know what I mean? Like, am I supposed to like feel the sensation or am I supposed to like... Sorry, I'm looking for something. What am I looking for? Oh, I found it. Am I like supposed to understand, yeah, like the sensation or no? Also, wait. Yeah, exactly. It would definitely burn your tongue. That's not even a probably facts, that's just facts. Also, wait. Bro, look how cool my setup is. I actually got like a decently looking setup. Maybe not for the frontal camera, but definitely for the aerial view today. And if you looked earlier, I had a pretty sick aerial view for cutting. Like, life is on the up and up, bro. Okay, wait. I'm definitely done and did this horribly, but look at this. Doesn't this look so funny? Yeah, I was gonna make a cornstarch slurry, realizing that this is definitely not the way to do it, and I definitely will need another cup. I'm gonna try to find another cup. But I hate doing dishes. This is like my #1 detractor in life. It's why I don't like cooking. Unless other people, I'm cooking for other people, because when you cook for other people, then they go, oh my gosh, you cooked for me, I'll do the dishes. And that's my favorite part. I love cooking, And I love when other people do stuff for me like this. Does it look like teriyaki sauce? Hot take. I am actually not the biggest teriyaki person. I'm really into miso, but not teriyaki, because teriyaki to me is just a little bit too sweet sometimes. Okay, this cornstarch / potato starch slurry is not gonna work out. I'll just have to start again. Fuck. That's annoying. Okay, so let me be proper. Let me tell you how to make a cornstarch slurry if you don't know. You're adding, well, this is potato starch, but same thing. You're gonna add however much you want, because we're gonna do this to thicken up the sauce. You're gonna add however much you want into said cup. Great, we have a cup. You're gonna add a tiny bit of water. Tiny bit. Even that might have been too much. And now, you mix. You haven't eaten anything yet today. You should go eat. Why have you not eaten? You have a car and the ability to go out and be a human. Okay, actually that was not enough water. You should go eat. Honestly, the only reason I am cooking is because I thought I was gonna be cooking for someone else. I actually have an extra quesadilla, and I really should have gotten and went and eaten that. But also, it's better to cook. I honestly should start cooking more. It's healthier. And Wednesdays are my streaming days for food, so how to cook, you know? It was a part of the gambit. Okay, we're just gonna keep letting this boil for a little bit until, honestly, I feel like making, I think. I've not seen your manga wall. What does it look like? Thank you for good luck with my stream. I'm also almost done, so hell yeah. Let me show you what this will look like at the end, and it'll be a whole thing. So I'm gonna rearrange my stuff, and you'll see. I'll make myself a bowl, and it'll be a good time. Cause I'm basically done. On Insta, I don't follow you on Insta, bro. Are you private or are you public? Okay, we're back. Okay, so now I'm gonna make a bowl of it, and then I'll show you guys the finished meal on the final product. Also, this looks weird. Let me adjust it back. Okay. Wow. I'm gonna move this back over. Truly, we're a manual setup, you know? You're not a private kind of guy. Really? Coulda fooled me. So, get in bowl. Nice bowl. I know it's so bright. I can't even do anything about that. You see this thing? This is a giant light. If I turn it off, literally you'll see nothing. So, it doesn't matter. Sometimes we're just gonna have to get over things, you know? I do have the Logitech program. If you actually help me figure it out, I will be grateful. But hold on, I'm gonna make my bowl first, and then I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna show the final product, and then actually I'm gonna be done with stream. Been cooking for an hour already. I didn't think that this recipe would take that long, but I guess it took an hour, bro. I do have the Logitech program, but the Logitech program, all I know how to do on it is pull up the camera and then hit auto brightness, and then it's done. Okay, these noodles have stuck together, and now they're kind of getting cut in half, but that's okay. Better than them being overcooked. Oh, damn. Alright, we have to turn this off. Shit is starting to burn. That's alright. No one will be able to tell. Most of the people I'm cooking this for are also not Korean, so they don't know. As long as no one knows, we all good. Oh, it does? Yeah, okay. Honestly, good to know. Okay, Almost done. Almost done. Now I gotta get a spoon, and I will present it. And for reference, I guess this is kind of what I'm making. Man, you're right. That's so bright. For reference, it kind of looks like this, but I don't have peas, but I have the rest of that. So, I also have all of my ingredients in much larger chunks than they do. So, oops. And I'm definitely gonna put way more sauce than they did. What the heck? But, okay, ready? This is jajangmyeon. Ready? Wow. I'm just gonna take my camera. Honestly, fuck that. Wee. Oh, I have to wait for it to go backwards. Yeah, this is what we call scuffed. Wee. Ugh. Ta-da! Whoa! It's supposed to be black. Wow. Well, that's jajangmyeon. Whoa! It's very good. Trust me, I think it tastes great. I will take a first bite. But also, wait. Let me show you what else I have. I have bought many things from the Korean supermarket today. But I'm also only gonna eat one thing with it. I found these clams that are already pre-seasoned as kind of like a side dish. I'm also gonna be eating this with kimchi, which is nice. And I have the one thing I'm also really excited about is this thing called hotok. And I will show when I can remember where I put it in my fridge. Called hotok. And it is a Korean pancake. Looks like this. You can just fry them. They're already pre-made because I don't feel like actually cooking these because they require yeast and stuff. So it takes too much effort. But yeah, this is my Jajangmyeon Redemption. I'm gonna take a bite. I'm gonna mix it first. So you start with everything like that. You kind of have to mix it because otherwise you're really not getting an actual noodle. So let me mix it real quick. No, none of my roommates are Korean. Both of my roommates are Chinese. And the people I'm cooking this for are also not even my roommates. They're just my friends. And both of them are Hispanic. So I don't know why I'm making Korean food. But I like Korean food. I think it tastes good. To be fair, the only Korean food I actually like cook often might be jajangmyeon, kimchi jjigae, which is a kimchi stew, kimchi fried rice, because it uses the exact same ingredients as kimchi stew, but if I just feel like rice instead of stew, you'll make kimchi fried rice instead. And Korean barbecue. I make it at home, like here, in the Bay, I make a lot of Korean barbecue by myself, because might as well, you know, at all-you-can-eat in the Bay Area, if you can even find all-you-can-eat restaurants, they charge, like, what, $30 for all-you-can-eat? Absolutely not. Like, when am I eating at, like, Jen's Korean barbecue that's $30? No thank you. I'd rather just buy the ingredients at home and do whatever. Yeah, I think cooking for yourself is very it helps you save a lot of money, at least where I live. Sometimes, honestly, depending on what you like to eat and how expensive it is to get produce, especially if you live, you know, not by a place that farms a lot and not by, like, a coast, it could be hard to get a lot of produce, so. No, I've never had Sean's cooking. Actually, I've eaten Sean's steak, and that is the only thing I've ever had that Sean has ever cooked. Wait, bon appetit. Cheers. No, why? How do you mess up eggs, bro? What? Okay, wait. This is how I remember it the first time. This is superior. This is how I remember it. Okay, now I have tips for this redemption arc now that I know. So my tips for redemption arc is buy this brand or something that looks very Korean-like. There's a different brand that comes in a box. If this shit comes in a box and then the paste is in a bag, it's gonna be bad. So get it in a jar. Number 1. Number 2, don't overcook your noodles. I also did that last time. And it's not pleasant. So just don't overcook your noodles. Otherwise, it's very good, very pleasant. I like my pork belly in jajangmyeon not to be too like crispy, like how sometimes you would if it's grilled. So I like it at this consistency. Actually, wait, let me just try a pork belly because we marinated this time. I usually don't marinate it, so let me try it. I don't know, bro. It just tastes like pork belly. It's fine. Like, I don't think you need to marinate it. You can if you desire. But yeah, overall, I think it was a pretty good time. Kind of A1, top tier, kind of goated. I think jajangmyeon is a good comfort food for a lot of people. There's also like it's inspired by a Chinese dish, which is like jajang something. I don't know, but I've tried it. The Korean version is a little less savory and a little bit more sweet, but still on the savourier leaning side. Versus like the Chinese one is just like super savory. So I think I prefer the Korean one because it's a little bit more balanced. It does not look gross. Get over it. You have eaten worse things, dude. Actually, maybe you haven't. Oh, that's good. A1. I don't know how to prevent these noodles that I made from sticking to each other and waiting for my guests to come. But, they're just gonna be stuck together, I guess, and they're just gonna have an unfortunate time trying to figure that out. Oh yeah, you used to eat a lot of weird meats. Why do you think black beans noodles are so weird? Have you ever tried it? Did I ever make it for you guys? I think you guys refuse to eat a lot of what I make. I promise you though, this doesn't taste like just beans though. If it did, I probably wouldn't be eating it. I'm gonna pull my hair to the side because it's kind of getting in the way. No, trust me. If it was just beans, I would not be eating it. I think I'll keep my stream going until my friends show up, and then I'm gonna have them come taste test it and rate it, and then I will end stream. You ate all beans? Every bean? What about... Okay, wait. You can't say that because... Wait, do you like soy sauce? Do you like miso? I know that's a lie. I know that's a lie. Oh, thank you for the follow, Tracy7501. Appreciate it. Okay. Now that you have followed and joined, now I'm gonna like, you know, bring you into this chat. Very obligatory. Do you know or do you like soy sauce or miso at all? Question mark. Or if you know what that is. Because I think if you like a lot of Japanese food and those are like, you can't really eat Japanese food without soy sauce being present. If you don't like those, you're not gonna enjoy Japanese food, which is such a lie because I know too, Muib is literally Japanese. Ramen has shoyu in it. Ramen has soy sauce. You have soy sauce in the ramen broth. Lies. But basically, soy sauce and miso are made from soybeans, so you have to like soybeans. Like, beans are an essential part of cuisine, and people just don't realize it. What do you mean that doesn't count? Of course it counts. Yeah. Oh, also, I guess because honestly on Twitch you can't rewind, let me show you what I made. So I made jajangmyeon. Kind of looks weird. I do agree that it's not the most appealing looking dish, so I'll just show you the picture of what it is before I kind of messed it all up. Because this is basically what I made. It looks great like that when you can kind of see the array of colors, but you know, when you mix it together, it kind of just turns black. No, soybeans are still beans because they have beans in their name. This is not one of those tomatoes are vegetables and fruits because I feel like it being like a fruit and a vegetable. Wow, I'm actually very proud of these noodles though. I think these ended up very good. I think actually, out of maybe all of the times I've made jajangmyeon, I think it actually turned out like this might be the best time I've done it because I've been actually very careful and very thorough in the way I made it for the stream. And I actually had a kitchen unlike the last time I did this, so it's kind of nice. Honestly, I kind of miss doing my dorm room streams because I liked the gimmick of doing it only in my dorm room with like very limited spaces. But now it's nice. I mean, at least I have a full system and I can figure out what I want to do. But it felt more impressive and better to make a full meal with like a plug-in, like like a plug-in pot and a tea kettle and my single griddle. You know, it was kind of fun to do it like that, to challenge myself to see if I could still make edible meals. We do need better naming systems because, like, well, okay, well, you don't like coffee. I was gonna say, if you like coffee, you have to like beans, because coffee, you know, I made from coffee beans. Wow, it's flashing. Ugh, my laptop is dying. That's all this means. My friends better get here so I can have it first. You like caffeine? Are you a tea or coffee person? Like, if you had to choose. I think I'm still coffee, but I've slowly started to like tea more. Tea is just the wrong answer. Can you drink tea without milk? Like, if you had to drink it with no other substances added to it, right? Like, the thing just boiled in some water, right? Still tea? Still tea? Okay. That's weird. I actually like black coffee. I don't really know if I like tea. Iced tea is good. Okay, that's fair. I think there's more variety of teas, that's why. So, you could have, like, I think like an iced peach tea is very good, but I don't know if I would consider that tea. Someone is home. Someone has arrived. Hello? Oh, hello. Was not the other. Yes. No, wait. Black coffee is good. Wait. Jen! That's my roommate, who I'm yelling at. I am streaming. Hello. I do need to correct this brightness. You are so right. I'm too lazy to. Wait, do you want to try it? I made jajangmyeon.
Oh my god, I'm so
Want to try
full.
a bite?
But yeah, I'll try a bite. Oh my god.
So you can prove.
Who's watching?
I feel like an angel. I don't know. 2 people. Well, one of them is my brother, but here you go. It's my roommate Jen.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Which brother?
The youngest one.
Aw, cute.
Wow, this is no Jen, like the normal spelling, like short for Jennifer. Dude,
Who's
also
speaking?
this is my brother. Also, I need to fix this camera. My camera also flashes, but that's because of my laptop, not because of the camera.
This is good. Is this like a Korean version or
This
Chinese?
is a Korean version, but I don't make mine as sweet as I think the Korean version usually is.
Mm-hmm.
But I also only have ever had one experience in which I don't make like my own jajangmyeon. Was it good?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What nut level would you rate this?
11 out of 10.
Hell yeah. Okay. I also am gonna let my friends in. Are you in the back rooms or something? Is it? No. It's literally empty. Okay. I'll be right back. I have to go let my friends in, and then I'm gonna make them a bowl, and they're gonna test it, and we'll see if you like it. So, taking a break.
Wait, that's so good. You have to send me the recipe.
I bet. Hello, I saw your message. I'm coming downstairs. Yeah. We have one more roommate. Hello.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna make you guys a bowl, and then you guys have to tell me.
Oh yeah.
Oh, there's a bathroom over there.
Yeah. Wait, you have to send me the recipe. That was actually so good.
Oh,
what do you
best.
put in it?
So I actually do follow a recipe. Usually I don't, because I don't really follow a lot of recipes. But this one I actually did, and so for this one, for the actual sauce I put in, it's sugar, oyster sauce, like a neutral oil, and the black bean paste. And then, yeah, I use these noodles, which I think are like pretty classic, pretty standard.
Yeah.
Except right now I'm cutting them because I've let them sit so long. What else do I use? And then I actually cook like pork, cabbage, onions. I would have done
pork in the recipe.
Yeah.
Oh.
I would have done zucchini as well, but I couldn't find it. So I went to H Mart and they only had like green squash, and I was like, is green squash zucchini? Couldn't figure it out. Gave up. I was just like, you know what? I'm not gonna bother.
Well, you have a camera up there too.
Yeah, so it could like stream down. Do you want to see what it sees?
Yeah.
I'll show you what it shows.
So what do people see? Do people see us?
People see us right now. But see, this is this.
Oh.
But people see us too. We're right here. I made it big because like I was.
Who's watching? Who has been watching?
I don't know. People just tend to go in and out, and it also depends like how entertaining I would say usually you are. I don't know. On a scale of 1 to 10, I think I could talk for days with even no one around, so it doesn't matter.
You're like, I don't do it for the people, I do it for me.
I entertain myself.
I see someone was having a good time.
Oh yeah, we have a good time here. If you check out our
stash.
Nice.
Okay, wait. Here you go.
Kitchen.
You guys can come in. You don't have to. I don't know what you guys are gonna do on stream. You guys. I don't think you guys are gonna do something outrageous. Okay, wait. Here's one bowl.
Okay.
Yeah. Isaac, have you ever had jajangmyeon before?
No, but it sounds. It looks
Can
good.
you eat pork?
Yeah.
Great.
You're like, we have no food for you.
No dietary restrictions.
Okay, but this is okay. Yeah, I was about to be like, you're not allergic to anything though, too, right? Okay, thank God, no.
No, together, me and Nomo can't eat all nuts.
True. We make actually. Do you want chopsticks or a fork?
Peanuts, dude. Oh, fork's fine. Right? Or I don't know, whatever's better to eat it. I could eat with chopsticks. I don't really care.
I mean, either one.
I feel like
You just gotta be able to eat pasta.
I feel bad eating it with. Okay, I'll eat it with fork.
Okay.
I feel
I
like
can
it's
put it
less.
back.
I feel like it's less of an experience.
Put it back. Wait. No, you guys gotta come here and then try it on camera.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Wait. So first of all, you have to mix it together.
You know what it looks?
I did that just for presentation.
What am I expecting here? What is this?
Surprise.
It's like a savory with like a slight, maybe a slight sweetness if you can.
Is
be
it
tempted.
umami? Is that what they call it?
Yes, it is very umami. I think that's a great way to describe this actually.
See, I'm a culinary expert.
That's
The pause.
Wait, am I supposed to wait?
No.
Go for it. Tell me what you think as someone who's never had it.
It's good.
Okay, but
This is one
I
of
mean,
her
I
signature
can't
dishes.
complain, man. I'm not a chef, so.
this is not my signature dish.
This is not like this is the fan favorite, is it not?
This is a fan favorite, but my signature dish is
It's really
chicken.
good.
Is chicken katsu curry.
Oh, that's right. Oh yeah,
That's
her
my
curry is
signature
really good
dish.
too.
Yes, and I'm very good at frying.
Fuck with this. The noodles are the right consistency.
Yeah, I didn't overcook them this time, Jenny. So how does this one compare to? Because you eat. The only time I've ever made this, that was the only one I would say is like a massive. You can also add more sauce if you want more sauce
this
to
is
coat
great.
it.
I don't know.
Or if you want more pork belly, there's also pork belly in there too. Yes. Okay. Yeah. But yeah, how's this one compared to the last time?
Really good.
Much better.
I thought the other one was pretty good too, but the bar was on the floor. I see.
So next time will be even better.
No, this is the peak. Actually. Usually it's actually not this good.
We're good.
Hey. Okay. I'm gonna end stream. Any final words you want to say?
Great.
Follow and subscribe. Use your Amazon subscription.
It was a subscription. No, it's true. Yeah. Use your free Amazon, like, use your free Twitch Prime, even though I don't even know if you can do that, as I'm not even partner. But if I was, I'd be lit. But, oh wait, also, thank you. I don't even think I would know how to pronounce this. Asian-Asia? It's basically Asian just backwards, like twice. So it's Asian and then Asian backwards. But thanks for the follow. I appreciate it.
I'm into Mexican.
No, that's why. If you guys say it's good, then I know it's good.
Are you streaming today?
I'm about to end.
Oh.
Do you want to try some Jajangmyeon and rate it?
Maybe a little bit. Alright.
Well, I'm about to end stream. I'm too lazy to keep waiting. Okay. Thank you. Come back next Wednesday for whatever I feel like making at that point. Today is Wednesday.